Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reddit Red. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the posts from r/pettyrevenge, the place where people share their stories of, well, petty revenge. Let's get right into the pettiness. Neighbor won't turn his floodlights off. Some years ago, we had some new neighbors move in next door. Nice enough people, but we had a problem with them. The husband traveled a lot, and his wife was afraid of just about everything. The dark, thunderstorms, you name it. The problem was the floodlights over their garage doors. She would leave them on all night, every night, even though you couldn't see them from inside of their house. They were positioned such that they would shine into our bedroom at night. We were not able to block them efficiently with our curtains. We asked them politely several times if they could turn them off at night since they served no effective purpose. They adamantly refused. I offered to pay for a timer that would control them. No way they would even consider it. I thought about taking the bulbs out, shooting them out with my pellet gun, etc. The solution that I arrived to was simply loosen them up enough that they wouldn't come on. Since they couldn't see them from inside of the house, it was about 5 to 6 months before they realized that they were not working. They screwed them back in, I waited a couple weeks and then screwed them again. Another few months went by. Finally, one day, my neighbor asked me if I ever had any trouble with my outdoor lights. I told him yes, as a matter of fact, I did. I said that they would loosen up occasionally and I would have to retighten them. I blamed it on the vibration from the traffic on our street. He said that he had the same problem. I told him that I finally just gave up and left them off. He eventually did the same. We were happy with the final outcome and we were able to keep peace in the neighborhood. Alright, OP. I really can't believe the neighbor believed the reasoning for the bulbs coming loose, but I'm glad you were able to achieve your goal in a peaceful manner. The neighbors are definitely rude for not aiming them away when you ask, but I have to disagree with you and say floodlights are really effective, especially when you have cars parked under them. Let's get into the next post. This one's titled, Treat Me Like Shit and I'll Have a Hand in Your Downfall. Story goes back a few years. I worked part-time in a small shop. The shop was in a chain of about 4 or 5 stores, all owned by a lovely lady who lived out of the area. The manager, however, was a misogynistic asshole. He was a Walter Mitty type, claimed he was a sass and licensed to carry a gun, all rather amusing given he was probably 9 stone wet through and wore glasses so thick he couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. At first he was okay. He did his thing, I did mine. A few months in, he starts to get especially nasty to me in front of our customers. Rude, sullen, to the point where a few customers pulled him up on it. After this, he took to hiding away in the stock room upstairs and actually sleeping. Because during this, he didn't want me to have any comfort, he took away the chair from behind the counter before he left for his nap so I couldn't sit down, despite the shop being really quiet most of the time. Little things like this wore me down, until one afternoon, he appeared from his sleep and belittled me in front of a customer. I grabbed my coat from behind the counter, and to his utter shock at mere woman having the nerve, I walked out. The revenge part was easy. When I got home, I called the lovely owner. I told her everything. She thanks me and said she'd be in touch. A few days later, she visits the store and took away all the CCTV videos for the month. At this point, I imagine my boss was panicking because he suddenly released all the videos that covered the upstairs warehouse. Owner called me and confirmed she'd seen him sleeping every day, apologized and offered me a part-time job in one of her other stores. I politely declined as the distance was a little too far for me. Walking past the store the following month, I noticed a sign in the window, closing down sale. She'd given the boss notice and closed the store. I'd known it was ticking over profit-wise, but looks like that was the final straw. And with that, the asshole boss returned to wherever he came from. A little Facebook stalking revealed his wife left him not long after. She had a lucky escape. Alright, OP, good on you for handling it the way you did. Bad managers deserve no place in the workplace, and I'm happy you didn't give them a free ride. Let's get to the next post. This one is titled, Don't Want to Return My Tools or Pay Me? Enjoy Losing Your Business. I'm a trade painter that worked for around 5 years essentially running a company for an owner who took a very hands-off approach. He was essentially a name and a working capital and not much else. After getting an offer to work for a bigger commercial company, and my old boss's realization he would have to run his own company as there really wasn't anyone else in-house that was qualified, he resorted to acting like a child to try to make me stay. Made me run around the world to receive my final pay, which I never got, and refused to return my tools, spread throughout various jobs. Revenge time. As luck would have it, another even better offer from an even bigger company ended up in my lap, and they wanted to subcontract me for a very substantial amount of their work. But I'm going to need more employees for that. So I go through and call each and every member of the original company and offer them a $3 an hour raise to work for me, which all of them accepted. After all, they know me, they've worked for me for years, and it's more money. No brainer. They barely know the owner, and what they do know, they don't like. I then asked them to grab only my tools from the respective jobs when they leave for the weekend on Friday. Monday rolls around and my old boss is getting calls left and right from supervisors asking why nobody's at work and what's going on. He was so hands off, he didn't even have employees' phone numbers to call and ask where they're at. Fast forward 6 months and his company's now closed. He's lost all his work. His new addition to his house has to come to a grinding halt halfway through construction. He's hurting big time. I never got my last check, but I did get a great group of workers and a company of my own. So I guess I'll call it even. All right, OP, I'm starting to see a trend here with bad management. Congrats on the company. Let's get into the next post. This one's titled Bankruptcy, Twice. So years ago, I broke a couple bones on my job. Pretty terrible accident, and the boss gave me a hard time, telling me I should lie and tell the company doctor that it happened in my own time, which was not the case, and that it was my own fault, which was not. So he shouldn't get in trouble for it. And he told me all that while I was in the hospital. And he wanted me to come back the next day. How? In a wheelchair? And don't call in sick, but take a holiday. Yeah, I didn't do that, of course. And then he sacked me while sick. So I called my lawyer to take care of it, but that was not the end. He made up stories about me to my colleagues, and they started calling me. Boss says you did A and B, but we've known you for years and we don't believe him. So what's the story? So I told him what was going on. And one by one, they asked me if I knew of a better employer for them to get out of there because of his behavior. So I made some calls to some business friends of mine and got myself a new job with one of them. I was still in the hospital for months. I said yes to the job and took about 2/3 of the staff with me from my old job, as well as 2/3 of the customers. And the old employer had to file for bankruptcy. He tried to sue me, but lost. Since he sacked me, my contract was not valid anymore, and it was his choice, not mine. When he started all over with the last 1/3 of the staff to build a new company, I approached the good colleagues that were left and offered them a job. They said yes and brought the customers with them as well. Needless to say, he went bankrupt again within half a year, lost his company, house, and from what I heard, he's not out of the woods yet. Too bad for him. Love revenge, to be honest. I'm the nicest person, but don't screw me. Just don't. Alright, OP. Thanks for helping me come up with a name for this video. It's going to be called What to Do If You Have a Bad Boss. Let's get into the next post. This next one's titled, Dick Guy Refused to Move His Car to Let Me Get Out. Now has a nice dent. So I drive an 89 Ford Bronco. For everyone who has ever driven one or ridden in one knows, these things are beasts. Super strong and sturdy. Anyways, I pull into a parking lot so that I can pick up food for my family when this jerk pulls up in a BMW convertible with the top down right next to me at an angle and over the line blocking my door to the point where I couldn't even open it, get out comfortably. So I roll down my window and have the following exchange. Hey man, how's it going? What do you want? You parked so close to me I can't get out. Can you back up and repark? That sounds like your problem. Fuck off. The guy then gets out of his car smiling smugly. So I'm pissed. At this point, I turn my body, placing my feet on my door, and kick my door open with all the force I can. I then get out comfortably because my door has made a large dent in the side of this jerk's car. The jerk's smug look was gone, and he looks like he is in complete shock. You just dented my car. That sounds like your problem. I then turned and went and picked up the food. Yeah, this was petty, but it felt so good. Man, before I even read this story and just from the title, I knew it was going to be a BMW owner. And on that note, we're going to end the video right here, guys. Please feel free to join the conversation on the post with the links in the description below. And as always, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next episode of Reddit Red. Bye.